Okay, I'm just going to go through the list because we have quite a few absences, so I'm not looking up and down. So I'm going to call everyone, even if they're absent, just for marking. Commissioner Bubenechek? Commissioner Campisi?
Here.
Commissioner Chabot?
Here.
Commissioner Chavez, or Sheaves?
Here.
I think I still pronounced that incorrectly. Commissioner Cho?
Here.
Commissioner Cunningham? Commissioner Edwards?
Here.
Commissioner Feldy?
Here.
Or Chairperson Feldy, excuse me. Commissioner Flynn? Commissioner Reeds?
Here.
Commissioner Steinberg? Vice Chair Van Pelt? Commissioner Weiss?
Here.
Okay, and I just wanted to note the additional absences of Commissioner Sorgan and Tagboy. And we do have a quorum, but just for the minutes, I just want to also do a roll call for the ad hoc subcommittee. Commissioner Nguyen? Commissioner Robles?
Here.
Commissioner Trone? And Commissioner McCauley. Okay, no problem. Okay, Commissioner Nguyen is here. Okay, we do have a quorum, so we can go ahead and proceed.
Okay, perfect. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and can I have a motion and a second to approve the order of the agenda?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Do we have any blue folder items tonight?
Not that, we do not this evening.
Got it. And do we need a motion to approve the order of the consent calendar?
We just need to see if there's anyone that wants to pull any items for discussion. If not, then we would do a motion to approve all of the items.
Okay. Would anybody like to pull anything, or can we approve it all? Okay.
So then we would just need a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Motion.
Second. Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner Weiss, did you second?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and were there any excluded consent calendar items?
No, there wasn't.
Okay.
None pulled.
Got it. And do we have any public participation on non-agenda items tonight?
I don't know if anyone in the audience would like to speak.
There's one.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you. Jim Light, District 1 and Mayor. I want to thank you guys for the letter you sent to the council for our strategic planning. Really appreciate that. You guys actually gave us more than some of the adult commissions. So appreciate your efforts there, and both your main concerns were taken into account by the council, and they will be addressed. So thank you very much for doing that. I wanted you to know you did have an impact, so thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else?
Is there anyone else online? Is anyone online, Krista? No. Okay, there's no one online.
Got it.
No, that's okay.
And do we have any items from previous agendas?
No, not this evening.
Okay. All right. Okay, moving on to receiving and filing the presentation of this Redondo Beach Teens in Policing Program.
Yeah, so I'll just briefly do a quick introduction for this item. We do have a representative from our police department here. He's going to provide a presentation for you on this program. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Officer Lofstrom.
Hello, Commission. If you can hear me okay, I'm pretty loud. Sorry if it's too loud. I'll introduce myself first. My name's Kyle Lofstrom from the Redondo Beach Police Department. I'm the community-based officer, which is a position in the police department that runs all of our community engagement programs, outreach, and so on. And I do some boring administrative stuff as well. The reason I'm here is to present on a youth program that we put on for the police department. It's not going to be too long. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the program and the curriculum and show you a little cool video, promo video we have for it. So to start, the program is called Teens in Policing. There's a number of these programs around the world. I participated in one in Torrance many years ago. And it's a youth program, basically just to give an opportunity for students or young people to get involved with their police department. Some of the goals of the program, the real official sounding stuff, is educate young members of our society, form a relationship between the youth and the officers who serve them, produce informed contributors to our civic process, provide guidance, mentorship, instruction on navigating the dangers of the real world, and expose students to the realities faced by law enforcement every day. So those all kind of sound like superficial, but essentially to go one by one in easier terms, education is huge, right? That's the first step. So that's why we aim for that, is just simply providing you the information. That's where everything starts. Forming a relationship. This isn't just for your relationship with the police department, relationships with individual officers specifically, and in relationships between students in the classroom too. We've had some kids end up being friends after the class. And then I've maintained relationships for many years with many of the students that have come through the course. This big one, produce informed contributors to our civic process. There's a lot of discourse and a lot of freedom to share information out on the interwebs. And a lot of people do so while only being partially and sometimes even misinformed. Our goal here is just to simply give you as much information as you possibly have, even if it makes you more of a critic or less, and maybe potentially even develops you into a contributor to a meaningful change. Provide guidance, mentorship, and instruction on navigating the dangers of the real world. Like I said, as with the second one, we develop relationships. I've become friends with a lot of the students that come through the class, and so do other officers that teach the different aspects of the program. And to this day, they'll come up to me afterward and say hello. They'll ask for guidance and advice on life situations, college, letters of recommendation for, whatever endeavors they are seeking to pursue. For us to be able to take it beyond just teaching this class and actually be a meaningful role model is also kind of a goal we have in the program, because we are the police department. You're our, not customers isn't the right word, but that's the word I'm going to use just temporarily for the understanding of this. You're kind of the customers, and it's our job to keep you safe. So if we can step into that role and help you reach your goals and stay safe out there in the world with all the dangers we know, or maybe some you don't know exist, that's also a huge goal for us. And then expose students to the realities faced by law enforcement every day. We get some understanding out of this program. We have the opportunity to share with you what it's like to be us, which usually develops a strong mutual respect. I always like to say that we're not, it's not some big thing. We're trying to seem super cool, although I do consider myself pretty funny and cool. Sorry. And we're not trying to, we don't do this as a recruitment tool per se. Some students come through and they do develop an interest in law enforcement or have an interest in some field that has a nexus to law enforcement. But for us, it's just simply the opportunity that we're looking for. Qualifications. So we typically will, this isn't, I made this list, but it's not particularly set in stone for the program. But typically I'll aim for entering 7th grade to entering 12th grade. It's done over the summer, and that provides a good age range of I haven't had any issues with anyone that's an adult. I usually recommend take our Citizens Police Academy, which is basically like a more expanded version of this program. Enrolled in school, again, we're not trying to minimize our potential audience, public school, private school, homeschool, whatever. We just encourage that it be kind of part of, a larger picture of education. We do a background check. Obviously, most people in this range of youth don't have issues with a background check, but there is sensitive information and access to the police facilities that occur. So we do a background check. And we encourage a nexus to Redondo Beach in some way. Obviously, if someone has expressed interest in the program, so much so to apply, they have the nexus of being aware that we exist and wanting to be a part of an opportunity. So again, none of these are fully set in stone. We try and go case by case to create as much inclusion as we can. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the meat and potatoes here. The curriculum is, it's 9 weeks over the summer. Usually like a weekday from about 2 to 4 p.m. That's what I found to be the most successful time frame, since all these, you kids are very busy these days. You guys do a lot of stuff. So the first week is Meet the Chief and a program introduction. We invite the parents to the first session. So we have, it takes place at our annex facility across the street. There's a big conference room in there. And we have the chief come in and speak. He usually answers some questions and gives an introductory message to the police department. Most people who do this, again, don't have close exposure to the police department. So we give them a little bit of information and what the goals of this program are and so on. And then we go right into a presentation to the students about the program, some housekeeping, the day-to-day, where you can be dropped off, picked up, park, etc. And then a very in-depth presentation about the Bill of Rights. And that sounds kind of lame, because it seems like something you learned a long time ago. But we go specifically in depth on the Bill of Rights and all the amendments that are extremely crucial in the operation of law enforcement. So 6th and 8th Amendment, 14th Amendment, 4th Amendment, and your 5th Amendment rights. I do this because it creates interesting conversation. We also debrief a couple of law enforcement incident related videos and how it pertains to those constitutional rights. But we start with this because we're trying to be transparent. A lot of people are like, hey, we want to exercise our rights. We're in full support of everybody exercising their constitutional rights and being able to teach you specifically what they are, how they work, and what we deal with when performing the job that we do that toes the line around those rights. That's the initial education that we want to provide that first day. And it's usually pretty eye-opening for the students. Then we get into some fun stuff. We go into the first week after that is, obviously the parents are welcome to attend any session, but typically that we are on to just having the students in the classroom. And we do a scenario day first with traffic stops. Traffic stops are one of the more dangerous things that police officers do out in the field. And we like to give the kids a real taste of what that's like. So they do a couple of different scenarios. We set up a mock traffic stop. You don't get to actually go out and pull somebody over, as fun as that may have been for you. We do a mock traffic stop and create a couple of scenarios that test you a little bit, that create a little bit of a sense of anxiety or stress. It's completely controlled, obviously, and I would say that I do this also in the adult version of this class, which is the Citizens Police Academy, and I often find that the youth perform better than the adults do. There's almost less. There's I'm gonna be the decision making is strong with you guys. I don't know what it is. There's less hesitation. It's really quite fun to watch, and the students get a big kick out of it. Week 3, we do canine units. So our canine team comes in, our canine officers and their canine partners, and they provide like a brief instruction, history, and informational on canines, how they operate, etc. And then they'll actually go into demonstrations with how the dogs work in building searches and open area searches and evidence searches and so on. And you get to meet the dogs and pet them and have a good time. Week 4 is SWAT. So we have members of our SWAT team come in, and they'll usually set up a mock incident that our SWAT team would respond to and try and incorporate the students in that mock scenario with the different roles that our SWAT team takes on for all the procedural things that go into a SWAT type incident. Week 5 is TAC-MED and Stop the Bleed. That involves our SWAT medics, and they do a presentation which is called Stop the Bleed. It's an educational program, and you get an actual certificate once the instruction completes that. We do training with exercises that include tourniquets, wound packing, CPR, things like that, and you receive a Stop the Bleed certificate, and this obviously becomes relevant when we think about the response to an active shooter or things like that. So week 6 is CSI, crime scene investigation. So we set up a mock crime scene, and our CSI tech and our collateral CSI officers come in and do some instruction, and then you actually get to investigate a mock crime scene, take fingerprints, document evidence, photographs, etc., and kind of a sort of a whodunit type situation. Week 7, this is new. We are implementing a defensive tactics session. We used to do a firearm simulator, but the technology we have for that has kind of become obsolete and doesn't function as well now. So we switched to a defensive tactics, which we find just as relevant. We have an entire team of officers that are our force training unit. Use of force is one of the most scrutinized topics in law enforcement. So we teach about the laws and legalities of use of force and all the phenomenon therein. You participate in some physical training, learn some of the tactics in arrest and control under the guidance and teachings of these teachers, obviously, and then we set up a couple of scenarios for you. Week number 8 is DUI traffic investigations. You learn about collisions, hit and run, traffic enforcement, and so on, and then DUI, all the signs and symptoms of DUI, the dangers, and some preventative information about that, because it's relevant in today's world and one of the more dangerous things we deal with, especially with the youth. We do have the sobriety goggles, and we ask you to perform some FSTs to get a real life concept of how alcohol impairs somebody's driving. And then the last week, we set up a mock foot pursuit. I don't want to, in case any of you decide to take the program, because I know how fun it sounds right now. I don't want to share too much, but we set up a mock scenario that involves a foot pursuit of a suspect, and then sort of a confrontational situation at the end that we set up for you. So this takes place every summer. We're on our 5th, this summer will be our 5th class. We did the first couple in conjunction with the school year, but we found that the students at the high school and middle school are usually just have a ton going on. So it was hard to find a good time for it, et cetera. So we did it over the summer, and we found a little more success there scheduling. Okay, let's keep going. So takeaways, I put this in, I put this slide in. It wasn't like one of those official goals like in that first one. This is just some simpler terms, takeaways that I see since I've been running the program for the last 3 or 4 classes. And that's, like I said, a healthy mutual respect. We get a chance to listen and see and hear the type of things you guys know about law enforcement coming in, what you're taught at home, what you see on TV, and mainly a lot of social media. And we walk away with a ton of healthy respect for one another for the future. It is fun, good old-fashioned fun. Most every student I have wants to take the class a second time. If I have space, I will usually accommodate them, but they have a blast and they're pleasantly surprised. Lasting relationships. I have a cavalcade of graduation photos of students that have found me at graduation, because I usually have to work those in my capacity. And that were my former students, or I work a football game and they come up and say hi, or they reach out to me for, like I said, guidance, mentorship, education, anything like that that relates to kind of going forward in life. Resume worthy experience and knowledge. I talk about how fun this is and exciting, et cetera, but you're committing to a 9-week program at the police department where you enter a police facility, you're trusted with police equipment, and you're participating in multiple scenarios and education that makes you a smarter, better person. Real world tools for safety. We wouldn't be doing our job if we weren't trying to prepare you guys how to go out in the world and be safe, make good decisions, help others around you make good decisions, and be leaders for safety out there. You get authentic insight. So when any conversation about our process or the systems in place in the world, specifically law enforcement, which is of major topic, you have authentic insight to be, whether you're a critic or a supporter or otherwise, you have authentic insight that most people don't have. You get a certificate of completion and a sweet little honorary pin that looks like a little badge. It's pretty cool. All right. So this probably looks familiar. This is your powers and duties. So this is why I'm here. If you look at B, remain informed on the programs providing youth services to Redondo Beach. When this started back up, this is what I immediately thought of. I wanted to make sure you guys were informed as the person who coordinates this entire program. Research, formulate, suggest, propose policies, programs, services designed to meet the needs of Redondo Beach youth. Now you've done some research on the Teens in Policing program. If you want to take it a step further, obviously just reach out to me and I'll get you an application for this summer. But if you see or heard anything today that you want to make any sort of input on or anything like that, then that's what I'm looking for. So with that being said, is there any questions, comments, concerns, or input that I could take from you?
I have
Please.
a question.
Yes.
So what are the average cohort sizes for each year?
The first class I wasn't in this position yet. It was about 8 students. The second class was 9 students. The third I had 18, and the fourth I had 14.
Okay. What would you say the capacity is for the program to
That's a great question. I would say I usually set the limit at 20. I would set the limit at 20. I haven't gotten there yet with any of the classes. I'd set the limit at 20, having experience with the adult version of this class, the Citizens Police Academy, to get everyone through those scenarios on those 3 or 4 big days. That's about where we set it at to finish all the scenarios with ample timing to give you guys a good experience. I would say about 20.
Thank you.
That's next. I wanted to field any questions.
Oh, actually, I do have another question. So I'm not sure if it was a kid holding it, but in one of the pictures, I saw someone holding a firearm. So are there any kids using firearms? And
No, there's no firearms. So this is the picture you're referring to, I think.
yeah.
So when we set up the scenarios, you're given equipment. When there's a scenario that involves it's really, we kind of let you guys lead the scenario. So it's interesting to see what your reactions are in regards to being armed with a firearm in the capacity of a law enforcement officer, even hypothetically like this scenario, to see all the different reactions of students. But no, they're what we call blue guns. They're just a piece of plastic shaped like a firearm.
Oh, thanks.
And you'll see more of that in the video. Do you guys want to watch the video and then consider more questions? Okay, I don't know why I did it in that order. So let's do that real quick. And I apologize, this is older. I plan on making a much more updated one. This kind of has Marvel movie vibes to it, but it kind of gives you a little glimpse into the real action. Pretty quick. We're going to make much more comprehensive version of that with this next class. We've hired a social media person. Everything else was relying on me prior to that, and I have no skills in that realm. But any other questions or input or suggestions? And if you have any interest or anything like that, obviously, please reach out to me.
What's your primary way of promoting the program at the moment?
Right now, I have a relationship with some of the administrators at the school who send it out via like the counselor's office for career guidance and stuff like that. We post it all over our socials. We have a few other, because there's interest from students outright. There's interest from both parents and students. And then sometimes there's interest from parents for their student to experience something like this. So we don't discriminate on the methods of trying to get it out there. So we send it out in our Neighborhood Watch newsletter, through all the other like community programs and stuff that we get involved in, like Riviera Village Association, the North Redondo Beach Business Association, anyone that has access, other like NGOs that are involved with any sort of youth mentorship or entertainment even. So follow us on social media, y'all, if you have it. If you don't, good. Stay off it as long as you can.
So if there's no more questions, we should do public comment on this item before we
Sure.
close it out?
Yeah.
Is there anyone online that'd like to speak? No? Okay, there's no one online. Is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak? Okay.
Okay, and can we have a motion and a second to file this presentation?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Can I ask who the second was? Okay, thank you.
And then I'd just like to say thank you, obviously, for having me. I probably should have said that a second ago, but thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity, and keep doing the good work. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to commission subcommittee and appointment updates, if we have any.
I don't have any. This will be an opportunity for the commissioners to, or
Okay.
excuse me, the subcommittees to provide updates.
Yay.
The communications subcommittee had a meeting. It was just me and Commissioner Hung, but I thought it was productive. We drafted some posts and just grid and story posts for the social media, and yeah,
Great. And are both of you planning on applying again for the commission?
I think so.
Okay, I'm excited to see those implemented, perhaps. Any other subcommittee updates?
The Teen Center Subcommittee, I saw Commissioner Campisi as long as Commissioner Edwards, and we went to the open house. It wasn't as big of a turnout, but I think it was just because it was the Monday coming back from spring break, so everyone was kind of getting back to their schedules, I think. But from what we had, it was really nice. We saw city council member Paige Kaluderovich, yeah, and then we saw some RUHS teachers is there as well. There were also some teenagers and parents there too, and we're just talking about how we're going to utilize the space more. And then one of the teachers brought up a good point about maybe doing like tutoring there and then having like some RUHS school volunteers, like maybe some seniors go in and help tutor. And then also utilizing like the outdoor space since the basketball courts are there, like for pickleball, basketball, and like have like, because there's also like a stage there too. So they're thinking of like something about like battle of the bands or like band competitions because there's stuff at RUHS that they do like battle of the bands. So it could be a good like little like competition or like fun little like, what's it called? Like just like a fun night, I guess.
Event space.
Yeah.
What numbers are we talking? Like when you say it wasn't a great turnout, what was it like?
There's like 15 or so kids there, and there was like same number of adults.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe even less.
30, not too bad. Was there good feedback though regarding
yeah.
furniture and all that?
Yeah, there was a parent who was very, very excited for it to be opening again. Yeah.
How old is their child? Do you know?
I think he looked like, I think fresh teenager maybe, or like 15.
Like a 6th or 7th grader, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Long
don't
time
even know.
teen center user, hopefully. Are there any other subcommittee updates or any other updates from the teen center? I'm glad to hear we had some successful meetings. This is a nice treat for our second to last meeting. Okay, moving on.
We should just do public comment just to
Okay.
be safe. There's no one online. And does anyone in the public want to speak on a subcommittee item? Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So if we can just receive and file the updates, that would be great.
Got
Do a
it.
motion.
Okay.
Motion.
I'm sorry, who was the second? Okay, thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect. Moving on to the staff liaison report.
Okay, I have two just really quick items for you. Really good segue. I wanted to just briefly thank all those that came or supported or helped in any way on the Teen Center Open House event. Although the numbers weren't as large as we were hoping for, we did really receive some valuable feedback. We had a lot of visioning boards up so that anyone walking in didn't just see a blank space. We had some kind of guided visuals for them. And so I think that really sparked some good conversation. So thank you to all of you who did provide some feedback or again, just supported or shared the news about the event. We're really excited for that. And we're excited to really start putting some of the input we received into motion and start purchasing and really start building that space. So very exciting progress there. And then I wanted to continue to plug next year's commission. We are continuing to accept applications until May 30th. You can turn them in anytime. You could be the first one to turn it in. We actually haven't had any applications just yet. So we're really hoping any and all of you guys will apply for next year. And please share the news. We're happy to interview any person that wants to, that has shown an interest in it. So please feel free to share. We have flyers. I did email you guys a copy, a link to the application. If you need hard copies of the flyers to hand out, please let me know. I'm happy to provide those for you. Let me know how I can help you guys in helping us share the news. So we'll continue to promote it on our side. Whatever you can do is appreciated on yours. So, and with that, that concludes all of my updates for you.
Great. I have one comment regarding that. If you want more ideas of how to get the word out for applications, I learned about this from my AP US history teacher going into senior year, which isn't the ideal grade to obviously have a position and only spend 1 year in it, but just targeting like the history department perhaps at the middle school. We take middle school age, right?
I
It's like
believe we do. I
Okay.
think it's 12 is the youngest.
Yeah, so it'd be like middle school history departments and then Redondo especially. I think they can get the word out and it relates to what they teach.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, we do have two. Oh, I stand corrected. We do have 2 applications. So you can be the third. But definitely, we want any and all. So please send them our way.
Also regarding the teen center reopening, I know we mentioned like a soft opening sort of thing over summer. Is that still possible?
We are planning to do, for lack of better words, almost like summer pop-up type of
Okay.
event. So we're not going to fully open the building until probably next school year, the start of the next school year, so after summer. But throughout the summer, we want to kind of get the buzz going. And so we'll do little mini pop-up maybe one day or half day type events and just invite everyone into the building and do some sort of interactive or fun activities. So we will start doing that here in the next few months.
Should we start planning for that at the next meeting before the commission stops gathering, or would that be up to staff to decide?
Well, what we would like to do as staff is actually meet with the teen center subcommittee. What we'll try to do is we'll commit to try to meet with them prior to the next meeting. And that way, if the subcommittee would like to get your feedback one final time, we can certainly do that. Yeah,
Sounds
so we
great.
can do it that way.
Okay, do we need a motion in a second to move on from that report? Or?
No, not for the staff liaison.
Okay, does anybody have ideas for future agenda items?
Wouldn't we suggest just finalizing everything, because next one.
I'm sorry, can you speak in the microphone?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you. I suggest, because next meeting for June is the last one, right?
That's correct.
So we need to like finalize what we're doing, especially because we have some people who will not be on the commission next year. So I think our main priority should just be finalize everything.
Yeah, so as staff, we'll outreach. The last few months, we've kind of left the subcommittees to meet independently. So what we'll do in the next month is we'll reach out to you all to see if we can have the subcommittees kind of wrap up maybe their final recommendations. And the plan is that the new commission next year will kind of pick up where you guys left off and decide, do they want to continue or do they want to kind of table some initiatives and, take on new ones? So don't feel like we have to completely finish everything by next month, because you guys were very motivated this year, which was great, but I don't know that we have the time or resources to do all of it. But some of it certainly can be tabled until next year and we could pick up from there. So we'll end it on a really good place for all of you guys. So we'll get you there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that like final planning and like setting up for next year's commission will be agendized?
Yeah, that'll
Okay.
be in next month's meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Is there a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting?
Motion.
I second.
Any opposed? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you guys.